So there have been plenty of injury issues that have plagued Indian cricket quite a fair bit really in recent times, and due to that a lot of what has been happening, let's say, on the cricket field has kind of been impacted. So obviously India have not been able to field a full strength squad for quite some time, because it's not just let's say squad players or players who are on the up and coming list who tend to get injured. There have been plenty of players who are guaranteed certified first choice players across formats, or at least across a couple of formats, who have been injured and who have been on the shelf for a long time. However, the good news is we're finally getting some updates with regards to when these players could be fit, and one of the probably the biggest updates that we could get is on the return of one Jasprit Bumrah. Now Bumrah has of course been a match winner for India across formats, and quite clearly India's bowling hasn't quite looked the same without him. And the good news is his return may not be too far off, assuming of course all things going perfectly well. Now Bumrah is set to be returning to the Indian side for the Ireland series. Now of course India will be playing 3 T20Is in Ireland, and that is the series that the BCCI have earmarked as a potential return date for Bumrah. He has currently recovered from his existing injuries by about 70%, and he has started lightly bowling in the nets, but he will be playing a few games at the NCA before he does get to make his India comeback. The reason for this of course is the fact that the BCCI want to actually bring him back gradually rather than just rushing him back as they did last time around and just kind of aggravating his injuries even further. The point is to increase his workload gradually. So what they're going to do is they're going to be making him bowl in spells at the NCA and ask him how it is that his body is feeling, not on the day that he's done bowling, but after the day that he's done bowling, and then and only then will they make a call as to when exactly it is he will be making a return. Of course, Ireland, as I said, is the series this year mark, but that isn't set in stone. Ireland will be where he makes his return if things go well. So things going well will mean if he's bowling well and able to manage the workloads in the NCA, then if he's able to manage those workloads, he'll be tested out in the T20I format, and the plan of course is to have him fit for not just the ODI World Cup but the Asia Cup that precedes it as well, because they want to get him into match fitness and match fitness too. That is the big update when it comes to Bumrah. But there are two other players, key players really in a World Cup here, ODI World Cup here, who are currently on the bench, and there's probably a little less clarity on both of them. One of them of course is KL Rahul, who despite the fact that he finds himself in danger in the T20 and Test format, has at least in recent times been something of a saving grace when it comes to ODI cricket. He's currently checked into the NCA, and don't forget he had undergone thigh surgery of course in May, and that was of course due to the injuries that he ended up suffering during the IPL itself. Now he was supposed to be part of India's side, which was beat in the World Test Championship final. Unfortunately he was ruled out of that, and right now there is no update on when exactly it is that he could return. It's unlikely that he will be ready for the Asia Cup. Maybe, just maybe, the World Cup might be a bit more realistic, but again, it would be very touch and go. And if he were to come back for the World Cup, he would come back for the World Cup having not played too much cricket or any real major cricket at all. Like with Bumrah, what they're trying to do is to get him into rhythm slowly but surely. Rahul may not have that time, assuming he is fully fit to take to the field just before the time that the World Cup is about to begin. Another player who has been pretty key for India in the ODI format is Shreyas Iyer. Now, Shreyas Iyer is another one who in recent times has been plagued by injuries. You remember that he was not there for the first two tests of the Border Gavaskar Trophy series. He did come back in the third test, played a decent hand at times, but thereafter had complained about stiffness during the fourth test in his back. And due to that, eventually, there were plenty of talks about whether he'd just need rehabilitation or would he need full surgery and then rehab. Eventually, of course, in the month of April, he underwent back surgery, has been out of commission since then, is currently at the NCA, but there is little to nothing known about when exactly it is that he would be making his comeback. Now, again, Shreyas has been someone who a lot of people have targeted due to his perceived lack of, let's say, comfort against playing short balls. It's an issue that he has acknowledged that he himself is working on. But generally speaking, in ODI cricket, his runs have been pretty decent. Yes, in T20I cricket, he's probably not a first choice starter, but in ODI cricket, he was someone who was a guaranteed starter at number 4. But unfortunately, with him not around, the Indian team have had to scramble for solutions a little bit. Hasn't helped matters that the person who they've tried to use to plug his hole, Suryakumar Yadav, hasn't quite done as well. But they would be hoping that even with Shreyas, the progress which he's to make from his injuries happens sooner rather than later, so they can set a timetable or a time frame for his return to the Indian cricket team as well. So that is the update as far as India's big players are concerned when it comes to how it is they're recovering from their injuries. Obviously a bit of a mixed update in the sense that you have some clarity, or more than some clarity, as to when it is that Bumrah will be making his comeback. Less so when you consider the fact that KL Rahul and Shreyas Iyer, both their returns as of now very much lie on the unknown side. But that's the update that we have for you guys. Thank you so much for joining us. If you enjoyed what it is that we do, please don't forget, like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, leave us a comment, follow us on Instagram, Twitter and Facebook, and don't forget to download the SportsTak app as well. Plus, if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos that we've done. For now, from my side, goodbye.